All right. What's going on, everybody? We are
What's going
live.
on?
We are live. Come one,
Hey.
come all to the show. In case you are confused and wondering who I am, my name is Antonio Bryce. I am the creator of the comic book series brand. We are fastly approaching $77,000
Hot as
on
fuck.
Indiegogo.
Boy.
Over 2,400 backers. In case you are new and you want to check brand out, you can read the first 21 pages of the comic book. I've got a link to it in the description. You can type in akaripress.com and go directly to the Indiegogo page. But this is a launch party, guys.
I got mines though. I did get.
Oh, you got yours. All right. I appreciate you. Well, all right.
That's
We
the
launching a
man.
comic today, guys.
Sir.
This just went live. It's hot. We got hot fire out here. Black Tiger, Legacy of Fury, just
Black
launched.
Tiger, Black
All
Tiger.
right, so yeah, they were on before. John Hervey and Rod Super Luper.
Yes,
They're
sir.
back.
Yeah,
Getting
we
it.
are back.
Don't call it a
Terminator.
comeback.
So what's going on, fellas? How y'all been?
Yeah, I'm
Man.
fine.
Man, we've
John
been
first.
really well. Just my man Rod, he's a machine. He's been producing. He's been producing pages like nobody's business. This is a 158-page book. Now, it's not all being produced right now, but he only has 6 more pages.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
158 pages.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're far down the line.
Yeah. Here it is. You can see here. BT, Black Tiger,
Yeah,
Tiger,
baby.
Black Tiger.
Get on the board.
And all tickets. Pages and pages and pages and pages.
Okay, wait a minute. So I actually, I'm glad to see you showing that, because I always am curious of how different artists work and stuff. So first of all, are you doing the pages traditionally, or are you doing digital, or what are you doing?
Man, I worked for many years in traditional. I love traditional art, but lately I'm starting working on iPad, drawing on Procreate.
Oh yeah. My man Elliot Fernandez, Jerk Manga, he's doing that. He's working on iPad. I think iPad 2 or whatever, iPad Pro.
But I still mix it, both of the medias. I sketch on I Procreate. I use reference 3D whatever. Then I print it in 11 by 17 ish, and then I finish the pencils over in a light table. So I always have the original art to sell, to promote, to this, original Detective Dad, original
Is that just the pencils, or is that inked as well? Let me hold on. Matter of fact, let me get the close up on you.
Check that out.
Let me get that. Get the boom. Oh, nice.
Sir.
This is pencil, but I was practicing some ink to see how I would, because I want to make ink in another project, pencil and inks. But here is like the final pencils. But before that, I drew everything on iPad.
Ooh.
Because digital is so much easy, bro. So much easy. So
that's the thing, though. I took over handling commission requests for Kane White. So like when people want him to do covers, they want him to do character designs and stuff like that, they go through me, and we negotiate Kanan's fees and all that. At that point, I started realizing, man, because there's so many clients. So
many.
Yeah, there's so many. And then one thing Kanan, when he and I sat down and we talked about what he expected from our collaboration and all that kind of thing. One thing he was saying that, him and his family, it was very important that, he increased, he was getting steady income coming in, but he wanted to increase the income that was coming in. So that was one of my goals, looking at his pricing structure, looking at the amount of time he was spending on creating different individual pieces. And if you're going to spend that kind of time, how much should you be compensated for that? Actually, he was doing commissions and they were digital. It was like, okay, I want you to draw me Batman, and he would draw it digitally and everything. And I go, okay, they're paying you for that, but this, like, when I hired him originally to do the concept art for brand, I was kind of hoping to have stuff to hang. As you can see behind me, I have original art pieces.
Yeah,
you know,
nice too.
yeah. So, dude, that's a lot of money behind me on the wall. I ain't gonna lie, man. There's a lot of money behind me because I've got 2 of the variant covers for Way of the Gun. One from Matthew Weldon and the other one from Rob Willis, you know, the Shinobi Sasquatch artist.
Yeah.
And then let me move out the way right there. Watercolor from of the X-Men Beast, you know, the human one who was my favorite.
Yeah, pre-blue fur mode. I like that.
That's the Jack Kirby one with the big hand and big feet. That's my favorite. I like blue fur beast. I actually like gray beast better than I like blue fur beast. I actually, because I was a big fan of Age of Apocalypse. So, but Sanford Green came on my channel a few months ago. He was promoting Bitterroot, which is dope. And I mean, they done cashed in on that and sold the rights to HBO. They're making a TV show. So I'm like, and he's been, he could have. I would love to take break because they were like, man, do you see Brand being able to do like Hollywood stuff? I think once it gets out there and people start actually knowing more about it and everything, but like I say, I've got 2,400 backers. That's just a small fraction of people, and it's got to get into the right people's hands.
Of course.
Yeah, and but you know, Sanford was talking, and I wanted a couple of things from him, and he sold me this. He sold me that original art. Right there, because I was like, there was a Shazam piece he did, and I wasn't able to scoop it up quick because I'm a big fan of Captain Marvel. That's the original Captain Marvel.
Yes,
you know, that's he had drawn Shazam in this same kind of style. He drew like Captain America, Brother Voodoo. He was actually asking fans. He was like, "Who do you want me to draw now?" You know, he's like, "Draw Ghost Rider, draw this." And so he was drawing them, and then he was selling them. You know, he was putting the little pieces up, and it was cool to watch him like do little videos drawing that beast. And I DM'd him because I sent him stuff every now and again just to chop it up with him. He was real nice when he was on, big hip hop head, big fan of Gangstar. As a matter of fact, when I interviewed him, he was wearing a DJ Premier shirt and everything. I was like, dude, yeah. And he was the artist on the Method Man comic book, and I think he had worked with Run DMC too. I think it's like he did Method Man's book, but I thought he had done maybe some pinups or something for the Run DMC comic too.
Cool.
Yeah. He was
Comic-Con this year.
Yeah. He be everywhere, man. He be everywhere. But I mean, I enjoyed. That was a fun interview I had with Sanford, and he showed. He talked about. He got Mike Mignola to do a variant cover for Bitterroot.
Oh,
it was so dope, and he wasn't expecting.
Mignola.
Yeah. Man, I worship Mike. So
Michael's,
and he held up. Mike gifted him the cover. He was just like, "Hey, man, I got something for you." And he met him up. I think he said it at a San Diego Comic-Con about a year and a half ago or something like that.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Hey, I wanted to give you something," and he gave him the original Bitterroot variant cover art.
Whoa,
man!
And it was so dope. But what was so cool is the board that he gave him when he flipped it over. There was an unused Hellboy sketch. It was like he was drawing Hellboy, and then he was like, "Yeah, I don't think this is going away," and he just gave up on it. So like when he showed me the back of it, and it had this Hellboy sketch on it. I was geeking out because I was like, "Love Hellboy! I love Hellboy." You just don't understand how much I love
best
Hellboy.
character ever.
The last Hellboy movie.
Yeah, the last 94, 95. I went to Comic-Con. Comic-Con was a very different beast back then. Very different piece, much smaller show. I was with Motown Animation at the time, and they had a booth. And I was working at Motown Animation, and Mike Mignola was at a table, and I went over to his table, and it was a different show than it is now. Man, chopped it up with him. He said, "Hey, you'd like me to sketch you something?" Now, any normal human being would say Hellboy, right? But he had done one of my favorite Batman annuals. He did this Batman annual. So I asked him to draw this Batman, and it's amazing.
Oh man.
I've got it in storage. I got to pull that bad boy out so I can show it to you one day, Antonio, because I know you'd appreciate it.
Oh, dude, I love, like you said, especially like the one thing back here, which is the Rob Willis Dark Santana variant that's coming up for Way of the Gun. I should have colors on that within the next few days too. I'm looking forward to showing, because just showing the black and white art. I mean, when people saw the black and white, they were like, it just,
Man, I prefer. I am as an artist. I prefer black and white. I like to see the lines, the shades, the shadows. I love them, man. I love.
Oh, I love no, and there's a couple things because we got so much stuff that's coming up in the upcoming year because we're gonna do Way of the Gun, and then I know Kanan and Ethan Van Sciver are gonna do something together, and while they're doing that. I've got some other projects I want to work on. Got some really cool people that I want to work with. But there is also going to be, we've talked about this because Kane's wanting to do an art, he's wanting to do an art book. So he's supposed to do an art book. And during that campaign, I'm going to do brand black and white. So it's going to be issue 1, completely re-released as a black and white issue.
Nice,
I had a bunch of backers asking about that. So yeah, you'll be able to get Kanan's art book, and we'll do brand black and white. And I've gone through the whole book, and it looks great in black and white.
Of course. I told you that. I told that to John, and I said, man, maybe in this campaign we could release. I don't know if it work, but I don't know how expensive could be, but we could give this choice for people. Look, you have the book black and white and color. You choose.
Well, the good thing about this is since the book is already, I might do it even on newsprint because we want the book to be as affordable as possible. And because it's just black and white art, it could be on newsprint and it won't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and I would be, and I'm a fan of newsprint. I love newsprint books. So, some people, they want that glossy paper and all this. I would love a nice black and white edition, on some nice news stock and just, I'd be excited about
I'm buying this.
Oh,
black and white, bro. This is fantastic. Fantastic. Black and white.
Love Akira. Love Akira.
This is what I'm talking about. We can do this, man. Not this thick. This thick.
I remember when they started releasing the Akira manga over here. I would go to my comic shop, and they were always in second, third, fourth printing. It was, and that was the 80s.
Never end.
It was the 80s and stuff. It's just like when I talked to Jeff Smith a couple months ago. That was one of the things I told him because I kind of felt like he kind of invented the graphic novel game. That was how I was able to get Bone because you kept seeing Bone pop up in Wizard. And they would like, even the second, third, fourth printings of the book, they were still 25, 30, it's like it'd be third edition or something. It'd be like, damn. And I told him, I said, man, I could never get your comic actually in printed form. And then you started doing the graphic novels. You'd get 5 or 6 books out and do a graphic novel and put them out. And so then I was like, oh, he's got the whole Bone. And I've got a bunch. And then I finally they put the entire collected Bone out.
I've got that.
Well, I've got 2 copies of it because on the interview I did with Jeff, I held up my copy that I bought. I bought it off eBay for like $20. It was the big thick phone book size thing of it. But right before I went on the air with Jeff, one of the things he and I were talking about was that they had just released a full color hardbound edition of Bone that you could buy on Amazon and stuff. And so I was like, oh man, I'm slipping. I went on Amazon and looked, and it was $100. And I was like, oh wow. I was like, but it had a custom sleeve on it. I mean, it's nice. It's $100, but it's nice. It's a tome. It's not a book. It's a tome. And
thick like that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a big. And so he was like, yeah, man. He said, I actually still prefer the black and white. He said, because I created Bone to be red and black and white. He said, but we've got a great colorist. And he said, when I started seeing those pages in color, it was fantastic. And we went off the air, and it was him and his assistant. And I was like, hey, do you have any of those copies of the hardcover? I would love to buy one. I would love to get an autographed copy. And he said, man, you've been supporting my career for over 20 years. He said, let me get your address. I'll send you a copy. And his assistant contacted me, and I sent her my address and everything. Oh my God. Like 2 weeks later, this big box showed up at the house. And I opened it. I mean, thing weighed a ton. It's a heavy book. And I opened it up and I was like, and I mean, had the nice sleeve on it, nice hard sleeve. I pulled it out and then I opened it up and he had drawn Phone Bone in there and autographed it and everything. I was like,
damn.
God, it was like, oh man, I geeked out. I was just like, and then I wrote to him and just thanked him. And, I really appreciate it. I was like, hopefully maybe next year I could get him to come back on. I was like, because they were, I love talking to Jeff Smith. I was just big fan of his. It was something I was reading that when I was like 17 years old and stuff.
Yeah,
man. So let me because I actually wanted to talk to Rod when you were here previously. I've had at least 2 campaigns of guys that come on and you were the artist on their books. I can't remember. There's some kind of, it was kind of a futuristic book. I can't remember. He wasn't able to get funded, but the art, I invited him on. I can't remember the name of that guy's project, but
Blue Bastion.
That is it. Yeah, Blue Bastion. Yeah. And I had him on, and I tried to talk to him when we got off the air. I kind of felt like he had some unrealistic expectations as far as crowdfunding.
And
the audience was telling him, that's one thing I say when we do these streams and we get decent amount of people in here and they're looking at your book, man, and they're telling you stuff. When the chat is telling you, hey man, you kind of charged a little too high for that. I was about to back you. And when you got your customers or potential customers telling you, like, hey, I would buy a copy. The book looks cool, but you're charging too much. When you get potential customers telling you that, take a step back and listen.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a big thing.
Yeah, I told him about it because, man, I participate of Detective Dead, Divine Factory, Black Tiger now, and on the Kickstarter campaign before this new one. So I told him, man, because in my mind, Travis had in his mind, like, if we were in 19, you know what I mean? In the Dean Lee era.
Everybody
buys 10 books of the same.
Yeah, he had this
speculation, and I say, man, is a little out of what is the market is today. It's not like that.
So
ambitions.
I think if he was someone known, like Ethan Van Sciver or something, then maybe he could have. But he had this weird idea with there was these like limited foil stamp variants and stuff, and he was charging. He's like, he said there's only gonna be 25 of these in the world, so they'll be like $200 or something. And people were like, no one knows about your book, dude. What are you doing? And I was trying to explain to him. I'm telling him, I'm like, dude, I'm running a campaign and it's very successful. You're making some mistakes. Oh no, I think I'm pricing based on scarcity and such. And I'm looking in the chat and they're telling him, it's like, dude, you charge too much, man. I'm like, yo.
I talked to Andy and I think he's planning to get back to campaign Kickstarter.
He's gonna relaunch it. I was trying to help him, man. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to help you, brother.
I told him, man, be simple. Today, the guys want one book, not one book, a fold of gold, another gold, another cover. Nobody cares about that anymore.
Silver foil. It's the silver foil. Yeah, it was like he had all this.
That's it. Comic book. That's it.
I was trying to tell him because I was like, dude, the prices was outrageous, and I'm telling you, he didn't get a single backer, and I felt bad for him because I was like, man, book looks really cool, and like I said, I didn't know. I saw the art, and that's why I was like, man, this art looks good. Why isn't he getting funded? I was like, the art was really cool. He had a good colorist on it. I was like, okay, I didn't know it was yours. I didn't know that was your art.
It was me. It was me.
And so I was like, oh wow, okay, because I backed Detective Dead, so I definitely I was like, oh man, Perth Comics, I love this.
And now Black Tiger, me again.
Perth Comics, he said, just sell a single comic for $50K.
One.
Yeah, just one book. You just get one book, just sell it. It's like, hey, I'll only print this one issue, so you 50,000 right there, man. It'll be the rarest of all of them.
Yeah.
There you go. So I'm like, my God, it's like, I don't know. I'm not an expert by any means, but I know to listen to the people.
Yeah, me too.
That's a big thing, you know. And so you mentioned another book that I had on here, Guinevere and the Divinity Factory. That was Preston Poulter, Pocket Jacks Comics.
Yeah.
I had Preston on 3 different times at least. And I like Preston. We had good conversations. I haven't spoken to him in a while because he started kind of going after a few of my friends. And I was like, okay, well, I actually, he had books that I thought looked really good.
He have good ideas, good stories. But back then when I started, because we were talking about Kenyan, about the page hate, and was something that I talked to John. Yeah. In the indie market, your page hate is not like DC or Marvel Comics. So if you keep working only with comic books, do not get any other freelance job, your page hate can't be too high. Otherwise, the production of the page will be insanely high. So I drop a little bit my page hate to help him in his campaign. I said, man, my page hate is, I don't think, 250. I drop like half to help to have a good inker, to have a good colorist. I help. So the problem is to pay all my bills, I have to get another book, indie book. So some months I was drawing like 3 books at the same time. And this is crazy, man. This is crazy to get one page hate that could pay all my bills without stop and working on advertising storyboard or working concept art for video game. Just focus on comic book page production. So at this time I was getting too much work at this time. And I said to him, man, and he started to go in a direction professionally that is not the same with me, the same thought. And I say, man, the story is good, the project is good, but I start, and then I was working in Divine Factor and some pages of Detective Dead. And then I start to receive many offers of many others artists, writers to work at me. And I say, man,
stuff's great.
Second book, I can't, was 2 things. The page hate, it wasn't in my hate that I wanted. And his professional kind of path was diverging for me. Then I say, man, I need to stop.
Creative differences, as they say.
Yeah,
well, here's the thing. When I had Preston on, he had a successful Kickstarter for Guinevere. Like, I guess he was running them simultaneously, kind of like Billy Tucci's doing right now with Return of the Warrior. Okay, so I think he had raised about 5,000 or 6,000 on Kickstarter.
The first one,
but then now he contacted me, and he had Guinevere and the Divinity Factory listed in, and he's selling a comic book on Indiegogo. He put it in the music video section, like in the music section.
I think he made
he made some kind of short film or something.
Short film.
And I said, but you're selling the comic book. Yeah. And I was like, you understand that people that are looking for music or something probably don't care about your comic book, right?
Yeah, very, very probably don't care.
It was strange.
It's the different market.
And finally, after a while, he left it up after I was trying to talk to him. And then finally he kept talking. And it was like, I think it was like a couple weeks later, he was about to go into In Demand or something. I said, dude, you realize you're still in the music section. You need to change. He did change it. He did change it, but I was like, man, you hurt your campaign, because of the 2 books that I've seen from him, White Lily and Guinevere and the Divinity Factory. Guinevere was exceptionally more commercial. It had the magic users, all this kind of stuff. The colors look great. Your art looked really good in it. He sent me a copy of it. look fantastic. So I'm like, okay, so you're the artist on Detective Dead, which was pretty successful. I know. Well, they're sitting in. Critics is sitting at about 37, I think. I know he shut the campaign down again, but I think it was about 37,000 raised. Did pretty good. I backed it.
Oh, thanks.
I know people are wondering about that project because Critias. I know he sent out an update. I think August the 11th last month. But since you're the artist on it, what's going on? Are you plugging on? I know you sound like you doing all these other projects and everything.
No. I'm right now. I just finishing the 6th page for Black Tiger to release this comic, and then I will be back focused only on Detective Dead. We already passed 60 or 65 pages. 65 pages. We almost there, finish the book, but it's a project that for me is too long. It's too long. 100 pages is too long to produce.
He told me how big the book was. I was like, oh, great.
Yeah, and it'll be like 130 pages. But I committed with him to work just in 100 pages.
Well, so here's the problem. Here's the problem, because this is one of the things I did see. He was, like I said, he was getting his sales, but I started I knew how much I was spending putting pages together, putting full color, paying the colorist, paying the font person. I knew how much I was compiling on pages, and I was like, how many pages you got? And he was telling me, and so I was concerned about that, because I was just like, the book's over 100-something pages, and he hadn't cracked 40,000 yet.
No, he's Antonio is one of the nicest guys that I ever met.
No, love Critias, and he's been on my channel several times and stuff. And I definitely, matter of fact, matter of fact, I tweeted out. I know he sent a message to Donaldo Lay the other day. He had I think he said his laptop crashed or something. He's got it in the shop trying to get it fixed, and he'll be back in here causing havoc with all the people and getting out there. And he did, like I said, I've seen some of the the art for Bigfoot Bill versus Detective Dead, which I don't think you're drawing that, or are you drawing that as well? Yeah, you're not drawing Bigfoot Bill versus Detective Dead. So yeah, I know Elliot. He's bringing Elliot Fernandez in to do some. I think he described them as like dream sequences or something, that Elliot was going to draw these little pages. To kind of speak.
The graphic novel will have 132 pages. I will draw 100 pages, and the other 32 will be other artists. I don't know if it's the origin of Detective Dead or the past of Detective Dead. It will be another story inside the same book.
Okay,
like a side story. But he's so awesome. Antonio his mind has so many good ideas.
Oh yeah. He sent me like some little scripts and stuff like that. I like him. Yeah,
I wish I could draw with the two hands. Draw to John. Draw to them. But the day has only 24 hours, man. I can't draw every single page for every single writer, but I wish I could.
Well, it looked like you drawing everything, because when we had you on before, you and John, y'all, we were showcasing a lot of the books that you guys had on BeyondTimeComics.com. Man, I should have put that in the link too. I've got the link to Black Tiger: Legacy of Fury. It's in the description. But yeah, I need to. Yeah, they've got the website BeyondTimeComics.com, and it's got a lot of these books. I mean, how many, John? How many different comics do you have on Beyond Time Comics right
15.
now?
It'll be 16 later this month.
Okay. Because I was like, man, you were like James Brown, man. You the hardest working man in comics.
John is a hard work, man. John is inspiring me a lot. He's a hard worker, and he loves comics, man. This guy loves comics.
Right. Well, let's look at this.
Man, because I'll be like, Rod will be packed with time. I'll be like, come on, man, give me a page, man. Give me one page, brother. What can you do this month? Can you give me 2 pages?
Yeah, dude, trust me, I get it. Let me pull this bad boy up here, because let me see. Hopefully sometimes when I do the screen share, it locks up on me, but I'm trying. I've got Black Tiger: Legacy of Fury. I've got it pulled up, so hopefully.
Let's
doing
see.
the
Let's
freezing
see.
thing. Hopefully.
Oh, there
Okay.
we go. There you go.
So let me see. Boom. Black Tiger. Legacy of Fury.
There we
We're gonna
go.
do we're gonna see, can't we? Oh, no. Aha, there it is. There it is. This is brand new. You guys just launched this.
Yeah, Black
All right,
Tiger.
so-
There it is.
And I tweeted this link. I tweeted the link out to the Indiegogo on my Twitter there. So hopefully some people will share that as well. But again, the link is in the description, and I appreciate the mods for dropping it in the chat as well. But let's actually talk about this project. So, John, tell me about Black Tiger. What is this book about?
Black Tiger, I mean, in a nutshell, it's a story that crosses generations, but it's a lot of good kung fu action. It's a fun ride. Now, we talked about long books. This is a long story that you're going to get. It's 158 pages because it's
Oh wow,
yeah,
that's a lot.
it's 158 pages. And we got 152 of those pages are already drawn, and majority of those are already colored. So the production's pretty close to, completed. Because Rod and I have been working on this project for years.
That's the thing. That's the level I'm trying to get to. That's kind of why I've got Kanan drawing pages for Way of the Gun now. We want to have pages. We want to have production well on its way when I launch the next campaign. We want to be shipping books out. We want to have pages being created, and then we want to launch the campaign. Hopefully, one or two people will find us successful and help us sell a few books. So that would. I'm definitely, but I'm looking at this, man. What's going on here? This is dope, man. I like this. Nice image.
And, there's, I don't want to give away too much of the story arc, but the power of the Black Tiger is in flux. So you got a new wielder of the Black Tiger power, and there's some other people that are at play that are trying to get, that are coveting that power. So you got a wielder, this woman, Jin Fong, but she doesn't have a guide. So she's trying to figure things out on her own, and she's got some folks that are coming after her. And it's a fun story because it starts to unfold some history, some family history.
Nice story. Nice story.
Some family,
I love it.
as well as some history of the power. And Rod and I, we're going to go forward after this story arc, and we're gonna do. Oh man, we're going to go into
secret.
time. Oh yeah. Okay, never mind.
Well, I do have to admit here, John, I'm a little shocked that you kind of went the controversial route here and called her Black Tiger. Shouldn't it be African American Tiger?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just not PC. Am I?
Okay, it kind of, I'm a little shocked by that, but the art looks really good though, so I'm gonna give you a pass on that.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
But my God, I'm like, yeah, man. I just wanted to make you know I'm aware. I'm keeping an eye on you, bro.
An African tiger.
Yeah. Oh, I like this image here. This looks really cool right here. What's
Yeah, a big part of this book is also the passing of the power from one generation to the next.
This is the new pages that we are producing to let the story more deep. This is the page that was produced already. And man, the book is about action, mystery, kung fu, women's, man, everything, mutants, everything, dude, everything you like.
A little bit of hot girl on girl action right there. I like that. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, man, I'm digging it. Yeah, see, man, I see it. I see you, girl. Yeah, and apparently,
and the hero journey, that's important too. You have the hero journey.
There's a lot going on in this page, man. They like rolling around on this desk here, and then a little choke action.
Look, yeah, Antonio face. Look,
yeah, all right. I'm looking. I'm like, now I would say, okay. Oh man, love how short her skirt is there. That is nice, brother. I'm digging the short skirt action right there. Now, as they fight a little bit, you need to make sure the clothes get a little ripped up. So we little titillation.
You know what? We already got you covered.
Oh man, so. Oh man, like I said, man, nice action sequences,
Yeah.
great color. Who's your colorist on this? I know it's probably the same person that colored, because the Beyond Time comics stuff, all that stuff looked really nice. It was all very nicely colored and everything.
I'll tell you, just taking a step back, having Rod do pencils, I am so anal about anyone that touches his pages. His pencils are beautiful, man. Absolutely beautiful. When we first started working together, luckily all the coloring was done digitally. I had hired a guy to work on the colors, and we went a few pages in, and I paid him for the pages he's done. I was just like, no, this isn't going to work. It's like you can't have pencils like Rod's and not really bring it on the colors. So in terms of, there are a couple of guys that have done the coloring for this. One guy named Rob Hawkins. He's doing a lot more commercial work. He's not doing a lot of comics now, which is unfortunate. And another guy named Vinicius Townsend, and he is bringing it. He's the one that's finishing our pages now. So the more pages,
amazing colors. Like Antonio, put show the image, the page that I told you that is new. I think it's from the new colors, right?
Is that because I was looking at this? This is Greg Horn again. I noticed when you had your Beyond Time Comics on your Beyond Time Comics page, you had Greg Horn had done several pages, or he had done several covers for you before, right?
You get this book, you get 6 splash pages from Greg Horn.
Oh man, I love Greg Horn stuff. And I was like, man, Greg must love you, man, because I was like, he keeps doing all this work for you, man.
Yeah.
Look at this stuff. This is great, man. Look how beautiful that is. Oh, Greg is a master. I was like, I love to interview him. I was like,
amazing.
I love his work.
That dude is funny.
Oh, love that dude, man. I was like, so yeah, Greg. I was like, man, how you get Greg Horn to do all this art for you, man? I was like, this is great. Oh man, that is just, look at how beautiful that is. That is fantastic.
The perspective is so good.
Oh yeah, man. But now, what's the page you wanted me to show, Rod? Because
I take this one. That's this one. The colors. This guy know beyond color. He knows about drawing too. Because in this third panel, when the father is with the kid, I didn't draw this mountain behind. He did with the colors, and man, perfect. The sky, the colors, the reflection of the sand on the skin of the person. That man, it's beautiful.
Yeah, because I'm seeing he's jumping on the cliff and then he's jumping off, and I was like, okay.
Because one panel is the past.
Yeah, because I'm seeing, that's why I was like, it's daytime here and it's nighttime in the other one.
Right. Yeah. So you've got the sun. It's nighttime now. The sun is reflecting on what his father showed him. So he's looking at when his father showed him when he was young, when his father was the Black Tiger, and he is now the Black Tiger. He has the power, and he's the one that's trying to basically replicate what his father did.
Okay, I got you. Man, this looks great. Let me go back and look at that Greg Horn again. That stuff looks fantastic.
Hey, there's 4 others of those too that I didn't put on here, man.
Oh, man, love Greg. Look at that. Look how beautiful. Look at that expression. Greg is a master. I follow him on Instagram. I love when he posts stuff. And I just, oh God, I love it. When I see this stuff right here, I cannot, and I nitpick art. I'm even looking at the detail on the bricks. Everything. I mean, he just killed this. The nice upward perspective.
Fish eye.
Yeah. You see the fish eye, and I'm a Hype Williams fan. Like Hype Williams, all the video with the fish eye. Man, look at that. Look at nice up shot. I mean, just great the way the sky is there, the bricks, the shadows, everything just looks fantastic, man. And then I really like this one too, man. This is great, man. Man, Greg is a bad man.
Yeah,
and it looks like you really put a lot of work into this. So so we go up and we looking at your perks here. So you got a digital perk, and that was the thing when we were on the BeyondTimeComics.com page. When we were there, you had a lot of previews where you could read the first few pages of each book for free or whatever.
That's right.
And I mean, everything just looked great, man. I was flipping through so many of those books. Remember when you contacted me? I was like, I don't know who you are, man. I don't know. It's just, and I'm just being honest, man. So many people contact me and they send me these books.
Totally.
Oh, they send me like horrible looking stuff, and you know what I'm saying? You want to support people, but it's like, look, man, you didn't put the work in. It's hard for me to tell people and try to showcase your project when you haven't taken the time to make those colors pop and get that art right, and work on your scripting and all that kind of stuff. It's just hard for me. If I gotta take an hour or 2 out of my day and we're gonna show this stuff, then I want this stuff to be popping, man. When I get on this page, it's got to be on.
Yes,
and you emailed me and you sent me the Beyond Time comics book. And every page I was like, man, these comics look great. I was like, every one of them. I didn't see anything that looked fit. They were all like different genres and stuff like that. But I was like, man, you had all kind of different stuff. So yeah, definitely check out Beyond Time Comics. I'll make sure I add that link in the description as well, because I thought BeyondTimeComics.com was dope, man. I was like, that was incredible. You had so many, and what you say, you had 15 comics on there right now, and then you'll have a 16th?
Yeah, I'll have a 16th on before the end of the month.
So, man, I'm like, so how do you, I mean, this is crazy, because you got this digital tier here. So you can get this book. If you just want the digital, you can get it for $7.
158 pages. That doesn't include the covers.
That's incredible right there.
There's six covers by Greg Horn, and then 158 interior pages of story. And what we did with this campaign, the additional pages were basically, we're just filling in the parts of the story that we wanted to make sure we were telling. So it's a fulsome story. I mean, you read this story, man, you're going to have a lot of fun. And you're going to go forward in time, you're going to go backward in time. And, at the end of the day, I think it's going to leave you in a place where, you're loving the Black Tiger. Yeah,
well, I'm definitely loving Greg. I need Greg to, man. I need to hook you up with my man though. He can do some pinups for you. I'm like, yo, man. Okay, so you got the paperback Tiger, which is, I guess, the collected edition of this entire story.
That's just a paperback version of the graphic novel. So you get all the pages, 158 pages.
158 pages. That's what I'm talking about right there.
I mean, one of the things we wanted to do, especially, we wanted to jump out and we really wanted to give people bang for their buck. You get to see the artwork. It's Greg Horn. It's my man Rod. It's top quality art. It's $25, man. We wanted to make it so that people could really get on the book, really enjoy it, and really feel like they're getting their money's worth.
What's your shipping gonna run like on this?
So shipping US, I believe, is $7. In the US.
Say that again. You broke up.
$7.
$7? Okay, cool.
Yeah, $7 in the US. A little bit more expensive because for the hardback. And there's also one with a hardback and a sleeve. But paperback,
nice.
Yeah, so paperback though, all in, it's like $32.
Okay, so hold on. Let's actually do this. Okay, so you got Hard-Boiled Tiger, and so this is $75, but this is the hardcover edition, right?
That's right. So this is hardback.
And are you signing all these?
We are not signing all of these. At the end of the day, we were kind of determining, well, what do we think is of most value? Because my man Rod is in Brazil,
right?
So I'd have to ship the books here, then I have to ship them to Brazil, then I have to ship them back. But I'll tell you what we are looking to do though. If this campaign does well, it's easier for Rod to come out here.
Yeah, I actually had to fly Kanan. I talked to Kanan's wife, and I actually have to fly Kanan out.
Yeah,
to stay with me. And we've got like 4,000 comics that we're gonna have to sign. It's gonna be a process.
Yeah, so I mean, depending on how well the campaign does, either we'll fly Rod out here, and we can get to signing a whole bunch of books, or maybe fly him out to a couple of shows. It just kind of depends. So we want to give people that opportunity, but it just kind of depends on how this part of the campaign goes.
I got you. And okay, so we go down. We got the hard case Tiger.
Yes,
$100. This is the hardcover again. I'm assuming this is with the sleeve.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you got the sleeve. Everything looks. I mean, you definitely did not skimp on the quality. I have to say that. Your independent comics do not look like independent comics.
That was the point. That was always the point. The point was always we never wanted there to be an excuse.
Man, I love this.
Look at it, and we wanted it to be as hot as anything you would pick up on any shelf.
That's what I'm saying. It's like that was when like I said, you sent me the email. You was telling me about your projects and stuff a couple months ago when we first talked. And I went on your website. I was like, damn, this is all this books. They all look professional. They're all beautifully colored. Look at all the art and just, man, this is great stuff. I was really excited. To talk to you because I'm telling you, sometimes they be like, I've got a book called Super Fiend, and they sent it to me. It looks like a 3-year-old drew it and stuff like that.
Oh my god!
And I go, oh god! And what's so funny? There was a guy last year, and he really thought his book was great, and he set up the Indiegogo. I mean, he really believed that. He really believed it, and he set the Indiegogo up and set a crowdfund up for a $15,000 goal, and he had raised like $20. And it was like, and I think it was like a family member that had donated or something like that.
God damn.
And you know, he started seeing me pop up on Ethan Van Sciver's channel.
Yeah.
And he sent me a DM because my DMs are open. All kind of people DM me all the time.
Yeah.
And so he contacted me. He said, hey Antonio, I see you starting to have success with brand. I've got a campaign going too. I don't know what's wrong with it. He said, I've showed this. He's like, all my friends tell me it's incredible. They just don't understand.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, did any of your friends buy it?
Yeah. And I've talked about that with too. You don't understand how many people looked at brand, or I would describe brand to them. Oh, that sounds great when you have the book. And I'm like, these are friends and co-workers. I only have, out of the 2,400 backers, only 4 people that I actually really know bought the book.
Yeah. That's
it. Only 4.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Out of 2,400, the rest of them are all people that just saw me on YouTube, or they saw an ad or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, it's just, you know, he sent me the link to his Indiegogo, and I went on there, and when I'm telling you, it was bad. It was so bad. It was amateurish. It was so bad.
But that's this problem. His friends should say the truth.
Yeah, and
not to make him happy. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing. He was
then
like,
he can evolve.
Yeah, he's like, I don't understand why it's not selling. Right. And I was like, look, I said, do you want me to be honest with you? He said, please, yes. He's like, I want to be successful. He said, I really think this story is cool, and I want to be successful. I said, okay. I said, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I said, I don't know you, so I hope you don't take this personally.
Yeah.
And I said, I felt the artwork. I said, it's very poorly colored. It's very poorly illustrated. You have serious perspective issues. I said there are parts of one of the drawings that I saw, and I took screenshots and I showed him. I said, look here, you seem like you spent a lot of time working on the guy's upper body, which is out of proportion. And I said, then when you got to his act, you drew his muscles and try to have all these veins coming out. And I was like, then you got his hands, and a lot of people can't draw hands. So I'm like, okay. So a lot of people, he kind of gave up when the hands were there, and the hands looked awful. Then he went down to the feet. The feet were terrible. It was like he just gave up on the feet. And so it was just like, and I was like, if you spend that much time on the upper body and then you go down and it's like, well, I don't really need, most people aren't going to see the feet. And I'm like, I was drawn to the whole thing. I was like, okay, that's bad. I was like, I'm looking at some of the description that you wrote on Indiegogo, trying to tell people what your page is, what your story is about. Yeah. I was like, it's very poorly written. You've got some run-on sentences. There's bad grammar. There's a lot of misspelled words. You don't have very vibrant images. There's a lot of things. And I was like, I'm not trying to, discourage you, but I said, okay, if you feel like if you want to write this, I said, matter of fact, I would encourage you to reach out to a writer. give the writer your story, maybe let him help you craft the pages. And you definitely need, he was an artist, he was a writer. I was like, you definitely need to hire an artist and a colorist. I was like, I said, get a few $1,000s together and pay a couple of people, help them craft some pages for you to show so you can put on your Indiegogo, work with them
all
on
the
crafting.
Difference.
Yeah, I was like, man, the presentation is so poor. Yeah. It looks so bad. And the fact that he's telling me his family is telling him this thing looks great.
No.
And it was shocking to me. And I was like, they're telling you this looks great? And he was like, yeah, all my friends and my family tell me it's cool. And I was like, no, brother. And so he was disappointed, but he was like, I appreciate you being honest. But the thing, and then I came back, I said, hey, don't be discouraged. Keep creating. Don't give up.
Exactly.
Of course.
Now, the problem is I don't think he ever, I've looked in on him a few times. He kind of gave up, which is unfortunate. I wasn't trying to crush his dreams, but I was being honest with him. It looked awful. It was amateurish.
Yeah, people don't think. People just see the successful part. They don't see what it comes. What is the hard work to achieve this level of art or writer or business? It's a lot of work. It's a many hours drawing, many hours writing, rewriting, erasing, rewrite it again, writing.
Yes.
People don't look that.
I the box and just start making. I mean, I've known Rod. It's been almost 16 years now.
Yeah.
Working together, and then you figure, before that, Rod was working. I started off. I worked at Motown Animation under Michael Davis. Motown had a animation division in Los Angeles this is in the earlier part of the 90s. So I got the first book I got published was through Image Comics. It was called Trouble Man.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you kind of make your way and you kind of, editors were brutal, man. Let me tell you.
For sure.
Woo! I can tell you, you have to have thick skin and you have to be willing to receive what people have to say. I think for me that's made me, I think as an editor, you always want to tell the truth, but it has made me, at least be able to try to tell it in a way that doesn't crush people. Yeah. But man,
I don't want to insult anybody, but I just want to be honest.
And I want to try.
But I'm telling you, it looked amateurish. And so I was like, the fact he's telling me, he's like, I don't understand. My friends are all telling me this is great.
No. Your friend was lying. Simple as that.
I was like, are your friends spending money? Because that's something that you said, Rod. Yeah, that's something you said, Rod, is like how many of his friends actually bought the book. That's exactly the point. His friends told him they're great, but they're not spending. And that's the thing. I had a lot of when I described the story of Brand, well, that was one of the big things. I had a hard time trying to describe it and pitch it and tell people what it was. I had all these. I'd be like, tell me about Brand. Well, it's this and it's that, and this is what's going on. And this is that. I obviously have a pitch down now, but when I first was described, it was like, wait a minute, so you said there's a fat beekeeper, and he's really not a fat beekeeper, and then he's doing this, and he's hunting these supernatural objects, and then there's a redhead, and then they're doing this, they're doing all this. And I was like, yeah. And it was like, man, you got 15 ideas going all at once. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe just pick like 3 of those or something and whatever. And I was like, I knew the story that I wanted to tell.
Yeah.
I knew it was like, whether you like the story or not, this is the story I want to tell. And so I just kept working on it and trying to shape it and craft it into and I think this is something that I was I was really focused on, just something that I wanted. Brand was the story, and I knew the beginning, middle, and end of the story, and this is where I wanted to go. So
creating a log line is hard. It's like you look at it in maybe one sentence, or somebody wants to, give a brief paragraph on what a story is, man. So much work has gone in to your story to be able to deliver that. You feel like it's almost like you're working backwards. You can't. Yeah, some people will throw out a log line first, but it's like, you know what? It was a long time before I was able to give a log line for Black Tiger.
Yeah.
Can you describe this? Can you do an elevator pitch on it? man, I couldn't do an elevator pitch on this. I had 8 things. I had 20 things going on in that story.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a 158-page story. You have time to listen?
Well, see here, and I wanted to talk about this particular tier here. This is Premium Tiger, and you get the hardcover. And let's see, what all do you get with this particular perk?
So you get an actual original pencil page by my man Rod Super Luper.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. The pages are gorgeous, and you get of course the digital access. You get a big shout out in the book, and you get the hardcover along with the slipcase. So, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I love it. Yeah, that one's $180. I'm assuming the shipping's a little higher on that one.
Yeah.
And so let me see. Okay, so Cameo Tiger, which I'm assuming means you get drawn into the book.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, little ninja.
Uh-huh.
What about me, like a fat Chris Farley type, like ninja?
You decide, man. You decide, man.
Yeah, Beverly Hills Ninja.
Man.
That would be hilarious. I was like, have me in there. But yeah, this one's $500. So what all do you get with this one? So
this one, of course you get, the hardcover with the slipcase. You get the props in the book. You get a digital version, but you get drawn into a scene. So my man Rod, and you've seen Rod's art. I mean, people will know it's you. It's not like you got a book and like that. No, that's you in the
Yeah. I saw this in many other books and said, "Oh, I was drawing in a book. Where are you?
Where are you, man?
Where are you? I'm the guy with the yellow shirt." What?
Well, see, that's one thing. I will say,
it's me.
We had 13 people that picked up the cameo appearance in Brand. So Katie had to draw 13 people in, and some of them got killed in the. There's a scene later in the book, and some people got slaughtered. And,
nice.
But some of them were just, movers or whatever, little different things. And we just, it was like, hey, we need like a body. There was one guy we had him drawn in as a bodyguard. There's all kind of little things. It was like,
but it's cool. It's cool. It's so funny, man.
But yeah, when I sent to one backer and he saw he was like, oh my God, he was so excited. He was so excited that Katie drew him in the book. And I really enjoyed that part of talking with our backers and letting them see that little sneak preview of what their part of Brand would be. I really dug that. That was really special to me, and we had amazing backers on the project. So I'm just really excited. Hold on, let me go back to this Greg Horn right quick before I close this out.
He's passionate about Greg.
Oh man, I just look at that face and look at it. Just love it, man. Just so cool. Yeah, Greg is the man. So when did you guys first start working on this? Because you didn't just this isn't something you came up with a couple months ago, obviously.
Nah, I know.
We started working together. 04.
Yeah.
When we started working together.
I think is more than 15 years.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I was working on another project. I think I tell you before, I worked 2 years in Australia working as concept art for a video game company. So in this time
Australia?
Australia.
Were you actually there, or were you just working over the internet?
No. I moved there with my ex-wife, and we lived there for 2 years working as a character concept art for a AAA game, Edge of Twilight. Yeah, I think you can find the trailer on YouTube if you look for Edge of Twilight. And I worked there, and in this time, I didn't have too much free time to work on Black Tiger book. But every single little week that I had, y'all send me an email, Rod, please drew at least 2 pages for me this month. And I say, no, I will do. I think I can fit in my schedule. And then I drew 2 pages, 3 pages, 4 pages. Sometimes I was working on other things. Sometimes I was with my schedule more free. So I sent an email to him, John, it's the time. How many pages do you need? 15, 20. Let's do it. So it's a work for 10 years or 15 years. And now we have the Kickstarter campaign, successful campaign. And
Right.
with that
You guys put this on Kickstarter. Now you're doing the Indiegogo as well.
Yeah. With that money, we produce more 20 pages, new pages.
Right.
20. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So you will fit inside the book. So the book will be more densely, more deep.
Let me ask you this: is the Beyond the Black Tiger book? Some of the previous issues, are those available? Because I know you had like really cheap digital comics on BeyondTimeComics.com.
Mm-hmm.
Are some of these issues already available on that website or no?
So yeah, but not with the 20 pages of additional art.
Right. Not in its original form, I guess.
Not exactly.
And
So the graphic novel, you're getting 20 additional pages of good kung fu and some good drama and a lot of fun stuff.
Well, it really looks great, man. I think the project looks really cool. And like I said, it shouldn't. What are you anticipating as far as shipping on this? It doesn't look like you've ran like a 60-day campaign. I don't know how long you're going to run the Indiegogo for, though. So,
in terms of shipping, and it really comes down to, because it comes down to the numbers that we ultimately, where we ultimately end up in terms of numbers. But my guess is it's probably going to be, I don't know. I actually have it written down. I forgot how many thousands of dollars I was expecting the shipping to ultimately be. But we kind of, from our perspective, we were looking at, okay, well, what do we need to do if we just want to bring some more people to the book? Because we've already raised funds. We're already kind of square in that regard. So it's like, a little bit extra funds for shipping. Whatever we get additional at this point is really a blessing, and it's gravy.
Right.
And there were some folks that they didn't want to join the Kickstarter. They're like, hey, we like what you were doing, but we don't want to do it on Kickstarter.
They don't want to support Kickstarter.
Yeah, it's a different public. It's a different audience.
Yeah. So at first, Rod and I were like, okay, well, we're squared away with Kickstarter. But then it was like, you know what? Let's release it. Let's make sure that everybody, and I understand. I fully understand why some people don't want to support Kickstarter. I get it. So we said, let's make it available. Make sure that everyone that wants to be able to support the project can support it.
And yeah, that's the thing, because I remember when I had you guys on before, there were a lot of people in the audience that were like really tripping out at all the beautiful images and stuff that you had on the website. They were like, man, this stuff is dope, man. They were, so it was exciting to talk to both of you the first time. Like I said, I didn't know, like I said, when I had you guys on, and Rod, like I said, I did not know you were the artist on Detective Dead until after we went off the air.
Yeah.
So it's like we went off the air, and I was like, "That's the artist from Detective Dead." And I didn't, but I was like, "Critias is my man." I was like, I honestly, I had no idea who the artist was on Detective Dead. And I just backed the book because I like Critias and stuff. I didn't really ask, who his creative team was and everything. And I was like, "Oh, you're the artist on Detective Dead."
Rod's the Brazilian James Brown.
Yeah. Now I was like, okay, yeah. A lot of people back Detective Dead. And like, oh, okay, all right, okay, hold up, we got a backer, hold up,
thanks, Eddie.
Number one,
Eddie, my man.
Yeah, yes, sir. All right, that's awesome. Thank you, Eddie. All right, so yeah, man, that's awesome, man. Like I said, it always takes one to get the ball rolling.
Right.
What kind of operation, John? What kind of operation do you have? Like I said, you got 15 comic books. Like if you go on BeyondTimeComics.com and you check it out, you got 15 comic books that are fairly cheaply available to be read digitally. What your books are only just a couple bucks, $2-3?
$99 for the books. At the end of the day, I've paid for a lot of the production, and my whole objective has been to put things out in a manner that's comparable to what the big boys are doing. Now, do I do the volume? No, I don't. So I pay for that out of my pocket. I pay the difference out of my pocket, But at the end of the day, I'm just a dude, in his house, you know, with my very supportive wife and kids who know that this is what I love. Man, my love for comic books is so deep. You know, I mean, it's like.
And if you allow me, I think John has a business vision. He's not the guy that wants to publish a comic book of the dream. No, he has like many stories and put together and say, okay, I have this amount of money. How many pages I can do this book on this book? Pay the inker, and he's little by little, year by year by year, without stop. He started producing comics, paying from his own pocket. It was me that I said to him, man, now we have Kickstarter and have Indiegogo. You don't need to spend your own money. You can bring more money from the other purpose to invest in your project. But John had this long vision of production. Mm-hmm. This is what I admire him. He worked little by little, not to a runner that wants to finish the book. Oh, I need to. No.
One of the reasons,
and this is working.
That's one of the things because some people get mad at me. It's like if I've put books up on Kickstarter before, so I'm like, and you know, I'm obviously I'm a comic skater, you know, so I've been on Kickstarter, you know, and failed. Unfortunately, no one bought my wares. You know, I failed on Indiegogo, failed on Kickstarter. I want to talk to people. If you're crowdfunding comics, I don't care what platform as long as you're not a jerk, I want to talk to you. And one thing I noticed, you know, John, when you and I interacted, you were very business minded. You were very customer enthused, and I just you look like you had great product. So your marketing, you've got wares to sell. I want to, because there's so many people that add, and like I said, I'm not an expert on crowdfunding. I know you've been able to crowdfund books before and been successful at it and all that kind of thing. So anybody that has that kind of knowledge and expertise, I want to reach out and I want to network with you guys. I want to soak that stuff up, because obviously I want to do more crowdfunds. I want to get this one fulfilled and you know, do all that. So are you able to do this full time, or do you have a side hustle, as they say?
I have a side hustle at this point.
Okay.
So right now I have a side hustle, but it's like Rod said, it's a long game. And for me, I'm taking
a long game
perspective. If I want to continue to slowly build our fan base, and we've been doing that. We've been retaining folks, whether it's on the online platform or people that are you know, coming to us via forms. I want to provide the best in terms of quality. I don't want anybody to ever read anything and just say like, man, they didn't bring it. You know, you know, it's like, look,
that's the mind.
I'm going out in a ball of flames. You know, I'm not gonna go out because
that's the mind of a businessman. He doesn't care about ego thing. He doesn't care to be the best writer of the world. He cares about the fans. That's the mind. He cares about the fans, the customer. So he's build the site. He write a good story. He contract good guys to draw for him, little by little by little by little, years by years. That's what we're talking about. People use it to look only the final line. Oh, this guy make 100K on Kickstarter, but you don't see what came before.
Yeah. No, I'll tell you the thing, working with folks like Rod, when people are excited about your project, they will give you the best feedback, and you got to be open to that. I mean, this book is where it is because we've all collaborated. You know, there were some ideas that I had that thankfully we collaborated on together, and that didn't come to fruition. You know, you got to be able to listen to your team. You got to be able to work with your team.
Totally.
And Rod has been invaluable. I mean, you talk about, you know, that young man who you had to tell the truth to. Rod and I have an excellent relationship in that regard. You know, and he knows me. He knows I'm always going to try and push the envelope, and Rod can tell me when I'm doing too much.
I love it. I love it. Well, see, here's the thing. So, like, there's a project from that Aaron Lopresti, the DC Comics Pro. He's got on Indiegogo right now for Garbage Man. And I know they had published that at DC back in the day or whatever. I saw like all this stuff with like Lobo, and they did like this is an original character he created, and he set the goal at like 35,000. And a lot of times people think just because that person is published and they've worked in the industry that they're going to have all kind of major success when it comes to crowdfunding and everything.
Nah.
You've got the whole point of crowdfunding. I mean,
it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, you got to market. Like you got to get out there and hustle and everything. And I do see Aaron. He's starting to hop on streams and starting to because you gotta do that, man. Because I saw the guy tag me in. He's like, hey, look at Akari Press and Kanan White's book Brand and all this stuff. And I was like, you can't compare my situation to Aaron Lopresti. I haven't been in the business of publishing comics for over 2 decades. Yeah. No one knows who I am. I'm not, like Aaron, he goes to big cons and meets fans and stuff like that. His book hasn't they don't have enough eyeballs on it yet. I know Ethan Van Sciver said he's going to start, maybe have Aaron on and start helping promote it and everything. Can't compare. No one knew who I was. No one knew who I was. Aaron had been published. Like Aaron's been published multiple times, or like even on my team, everybody on my team, they all have published credits. Everybody. I'm like, I've got over 40 years of experience on my comic. It's like my colorist has worked on big books for Marvel and DC and Image and all. I mean, he's done everything, and my letterer, he's been on Thor and different, he's been on all these big books. So, and so like, that was one of the things, like when we released the preview, people were checking it out and they were like, wow, man, it really looks professional. I was just like, because the book we spent a lot of money putting the book together, but everybody that is working on Brand is a pro, except for me.
Now you are.
And you're going about it like a pro, and I'll tell you why. Because a lot of times people want to do projects like this, and they want to take artists' time, maybe without a guarantee of pay. You did something that a lot of people won't do. Because Kanan has equity in that project. So you took care of everybody the right way. The process that I use was a little bit different, but Rod knows rain, sleet, snow. If nobody else buys this book, I already got his money to make sure he's paid. Because artists are gig workers. You can't come up. You can't have a side gig. Pay them.
Difficult.
Or you ruin your reputation and you may ruin their livelihood. Because they're working on a book for you, they're not working on a book for somebody else. So you are a professional because you went about it like a professional, Antonio. People want to use artists, and they're like, "Hey, man, well, if this jumps off, then I'll do that for you." No, it doesn't work like that. He can't draw for free. He can't draw. He's got to get something out of it. If it's not equity in the project, or if he's not getting paid up front to do the work, that's just how it works. That's business.
Yeah.
And we had this kind of conversation. I talked on some streams. Some people were like, Kanan should be just tied to his desk drawing Brand all day. That's all he should be doing. And I'm like, okay, I hired Kanan. He was already under contract from Stranger Comics. So he was already committed to another book before he could start really focusing on Brand. So Kanan was... And he had like 2 contracts at the same time before he could even start. He did a couple of covers for Zenoscope because they had him do several things for them. He was doing all kind of little independent stuff. He did some album covers. There were all kind of little things floating out there. And then he still had to draw Brand. They were just like, the only thing Kanan should be doing is drawing Brand. And I'm like, the man got a wife and 4 kids.
Oh my God.
I'm like,
4 kids.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, it doesn't work like that. I'm sorry.
Draw all day. 4 kids draw all day.
Chain him to the desk, and that's all he's supposed to do is just draw. Yeah. And I was like, no, but he's got to fulfill. He's got a contract with Stranger Comics, which I was very shout out to Sebastian Jones. I mean, I was very happy that they were able to sell the the Niobe Asunda universe to HBO. Yeah. So they cut their little HBO deal. So I was like, Kanan put a book out with them. So I was like, he did the Assessor book for them, and all that stuff's going to be part of the HBO series whenever they get. So I was like, so that's like, Kanan's working on a couple of projects that they've all gotten like TV deals and stuff like that. So movie deals, and I mean, so he was under contract for that. And, when I launched in August last year, he wasn't able to really start until January. He did some concept sketches and stuff like that. So a lot of times people are like, oh man, I thought he's drawing like 1 page a month at this. And I was like, he's not drawing anything because he's drawing this other stuff.
Hello?
And now he's able to,
Yeah, it was similar. It was similar with me. I think I had a month that I was drawing 3 books. So I was doing 3 pages in a week for a book, 3 pages in a week for another book, 3 pages. Man, three stories at the same time.
You telling me you
3
draw 9
universes?
Pages
No,
because that's a lot of pages, man. If you draw 9 pages a week, I'm like,
no. I was drawing. Sometimes I drew 4 pages in a week.
Okay. But man, that's a lot.
But man, it's a lot of pages, dude. And I was explaining another stream. I don't remember. Author comic book is like European album. It's not like Marvel DC comic book, 23 pages a month. Marvel and DC, they don't need the money of comic books to produce a comic book. They don't need the profit.
Right.
They get the money from the movie or the toys and put it on the production of the comic book. We as author creators, we need the money of the crowdfunding or the sale of the book.
Well, that was another thing that I was about to pick up where people are like, when you launch your book, it should be 60% done. It should be 70% done. And I was like, I don't have any money. So how can I, you can't, my colorist, my letterer, Kanan, none of these people work for free.
Exactly.
And I got to buy groceries and stuff like that. So you need the money. That's why we're crowdfunding it. Now, the good thing is, once you get to a certain level of success, you'll have capital. And so
to invest on the next one.
Yeah. So you see what happened with like a Richard C. Meyer, where he was able to have a lot of capital from the first Jawbreakers book. He was taking some of that money and money he was getting from Patreon and giving that to Ebi Canales so he could be working on the Iron Sights book. They launched Iron Sights, another $120,000 raised. Bam. Okay. So he's got more capital. And so he doesn't have to launch right away. He's got capital. So he can be like, hey, let's start getting. So now when he's launching, the books are like either 80% done. So that's why I'm saying. So like when we come with the next book, that's why I'm like, I have some money now, so I'm able to give Kanan money to where he can get started, where he's so I can pay. You know what I'm saying? That's what I wanted. That's what, and hopefully the next book when we launch Way of the Gun, hopefully the people will rock with us. They'll and they'll support us, and we'll have more money, and then I won't have to launch. You know what I'm saying? The whole point is to be able to have a little bit of money so I can lay back in the cut and just pay people to draw stuff, and that way we have stuff going. You know what I'm saying?
And I think one thing important is not make the same mistake of some guys of Image in the beginning. Like Todd McFarlane, he focused in only one character. That's it, Spawn. Like Jim Lee, start to make many good.
Jim Lee almost bankrupted himself.
The guys get a lot of money. Oh my God, a lot of money. You produce 5 books at the same time, but you are not Marvel and DC. You don't have movies. You don't have toys. You don't have T-shirts. You don't have nothing to support this production.
Well, see,
it's very risky.
That's what happened to CrossGen.
Well, but like the Image thing was perfect for me because I look at that. I look at some of the other Image studios. I look at Todd focused on Spawn. He would put out some side stuff. He'd be like, okay, well, this is medieval Spawn. Boom, okay, this is the Angela miniseries. Boom,
but 3 issues.
That kind of thing. He's just like, okay, we're doing that.
Back to Spawn.
But Spawn is the main thing. We're gonna do Spawn. And then so you get Todd, you get Rob Liefeld, he's got Youngblood, and he's got Bloodshot, he got was it Brigade and all these other he's got so many of these other books. And then he's like, okay, well, let me give Bad Rock a miniseries. And now Bad Rock's got a series. Okay, Angela, Evangeline, Glory, it's like, it's like, oh, he's just putting all these books out.
He's a mess.
He had so many books coming, and then he was like, then there's some little issues coming. Okay, well, I'm not gonna publish. I'll publish these books under Maximum Press. I'll publish these books under Awesome Comics. They start putting things out, and okay, let me do Supreme. He had so many different books that were coming out on his that it was.
And then the quality start to
Yeah,
draw?
yeah. Well, he wasn't drawing a lot of it. He was just hiring people that could draw like him. That was really like, okay, you can draw like me. Boom. That was what it was there. Okay, you know, but I noticed a lot of the other image guys did that as well, because there were a lot of Jim Lee clones at Wildstorm. There were definitely a lot of Jim Lee clones.
My God. I remember when Jim Lee exploded in the world as a mega artist from comic book. Man, when I started with him, I had like 20 years old. If you didn't draw exactly like Jim Lee, you don't get work in any place. Every editor said, "Oh, let's see their pages. It's not like Jim Lee. I don't want." So
Yeah,
it was hard, dude. It was hard. It was hard.
Well, I liked Top Cow. I like Mark Silvestri's stuff
Top Cow
too.
was really good.
Yeah. So you had all the Top Cow books. You had the Cyber Force?
Cyber Force.
Yes,
and Darkness.
He had that character. Everybody had a rip off Wolverine. He had Rip Claw.
Everybody.
Totally.
Had a rip off Wolverine.
It was a X-Men too. It was the same.
Yeah, it was because but I thought Rip Claw was dope though. I love Rip Claw. He was he was one of my favorite image characters.
Yeah,
Rip Claw from Cyber Force. I thought he was, because Jim Lee's, I can't remember what Jim Lee's his character was.
White Cats.
Yeah, but I'm saying he had a character there that was had the metal.
Yeah.
Was War Blades.
Yeah.
Was that it? Right? Like I said, he was kind of forgettable for me.
Yeah.
With the green hair.
Yeah. I didn't like him. I gotta be honest. I didn't like him. I didn't like him that much.
It was the same Rip Claw, the same thing.
I
think John has this difference. He knows, like, I can bet that if John gets 100K from the crowdfunding campaign, he won't start to make like 10 comic books at the same time.
Yeah, we just invest into the next. Hey, let's start getting the next project ready.
Let's do one comic book. Let's see how it goes. Let's see another comic book. Let's see how it goes.
It's just
I see Sean Fry. He said, "Yeah, it is Warblade," but yeah,
Warblade.
But yeah, like I said, Warblade. I liked Wildcats, but Warblade. Warblade. Like I said, it was clearly a Wolverine homage.
Yeah, homage. I remember some covers from Image that was right under homage after John Buscema. Man, come on.
But no, Rip Claw, Mark Silvestri's Rip Claw, again another homage, but his design.
Yeah, he was strong.
I thought Rip Claw was dope. I love Rip Claw. My favorite Wildcat was Grifter.
Grifter is a good character.
Grifter was, I love Grifter. Do you understand? Oh, you don't understand how much I love Grifter.
Grifter was a really good character. I remember.
He started putting too much Grifter stuff out though, because I was buying anything with Grifter, because my comic in my pool box, they had certain characters. They was like, hey, we had to fill out these sheets. It was the 80s. And it was like the 80s and the early 90s. And so when I go to my shop, they weren't putting everything on computer and stuff then. So when I filled out with my name and address and everything, they said, okay, are there any particular characters that you check, give me all number ones. So when I go pick up on Wednesday, when I go to the comic book shop, any number one comic that come out would automatically go into my pool box. So boom, they go, okay, all X-Men, bam, all Spider-Man, boom, all Batman, boom, that kind of stuff. So it's like, so that was what it was. So I would, that was one of the things that I added to my pool box was Grifter. I was like, anything with Grifter I wanted. So
yeah, it was the design of the character was very good.
But then they started pimping they just started pimping everything out. So it was like any Jim Lee covers, any Todd McFarlane covers. So Jim Lee was doing all these. So all of a sudden I'd come and I'd get these pool boxes. I had to end up putting some of this stuff back because I was like, I don't want.
You left comics on layaway.
Yeah, exactly. I had way too many comics because Rob Liefeld was doing a bunch of covers. Todd McFarlane was doing a bunch of covers. Jim Lee was doing a bunch of covers.
Travis was doing some good Grifter work too. I mean, they're good artists.
Well, that's the thing. I was going through my pool box, and I was looking through all the I was looking through all the, I was going through my long boxes that I've, like I said, I've had these boxes for like 25 years. And I've got 6 boxes of comics that I had to stop buying. I'm like, that's why a lot of times I just buy graphic novels and stuff now.
Yeah. You got it.
I went through, there was so much. I forgot how much She I bought. I bought so much She. I bought so much. There was, I bought a lot of like all the Top Cow stuff I was buying.
I remember I bought a She versus Cyblade from Mark Silvestre. Man, this book is good, man. Awesome.
But they had She Cyblade and they had Cyblade She. I think Cyblade She is the first appearance of Witchblade.
I think so. I have here someplace.
Really?
Yeah. They got She Cyblade She, but I think Cyblade She is the first appearance of Witchblade. I have both. I have Cyblade She and She Cyblade.
Rod's digging in the archives.
Yeah,
I remember this one. This one was good.
Yeah, because
I have this one.
Yeah, I have that.
Oh, hold on. Let me get in on you. Hold on. Let me get in on you. Boom.
Darker Image.
I've seen
number
it
one
on eBay sometimes, and I don't have it.
Man, this is good because Jim Lee start to make a different style, more like a Frank Miller Sin City style.
Yeah. That was for
this was awesome, man. And then he stopped. He make like one issue. I remember this and say, man, this is awesome, man, because it was more drew like with the brush.
They did Team 7. They had Chuck Dixon write it, which is that's smart.
It was so awesome, man. This book was awesome.
Dixon is incredible. So it's like, but no, I had, like I said, I have She Cyblade and Cyblade She, but I think it's Cyblade She is the it was supposed to, it's a 2 each company, so I guess they do it like that. So okay, well, you put your book out. Well, it's Marvel and DC did that. They did Punisher Batman and Batman Punisher.
Yeah, it's make money because it's hot.
That way each company could publish.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I know the one I remember. I think it's Punisher Batman, and I'm pretty sure it was written by Chuck Dixon, and it had the Joker and Jigsaw.
Punisher Batman was John Romita Jr. that drew.
Yeah, as the artist, but I thought Chuck Dixon was the writer, but I might be wrong on that.
I think so.
Yeah, like I said, and Klaus Janson, and there was such good stuff back then.
Yeah,
it was great. I was excited. I was excited to go to the comic shop on Wednesday because
totally.
Yeah, because I would talk to my mom. I'd be like, I was like, Mom, we gotta go get my comics, and she would get annoyed.
Oh, come on,
just like so. And she was like, but then she'd want me to put gas in her car and stuff, and then, but I mean, she complained about it, but I look, now that my mom's been gone for a few years, I look back on that stuff now, and I remember those days. We'd go to the comic book store. And then we get my comics, and then we go get maybe some ice cream or stop at one of these places and stuff like that. And I just remember that. I remember. I mean,
I try to build that memory in my kid now. I always, every single Saturday or 15 days, I take him to a comic book shop near to here, and he get crazy and say, "Oh my God, he has just 7 year." Yeah, and he get crazy, man.
Because I was in the comic book shop, so there was I've talked about this guy on stream a few times. There's a guy named Freddie Garcia, and he was one of the managers at Collectors World, which unfortunately has been shut down for a few years now. But I spent a lot of summers there. I spent at least for like 4 or 5 years. I was there, especially during the summer. Freddie come pick me up. Me and him became friends. He was like, "Hey, if you want to come to the store with me, I'll pick you up." He would pick me up that morning before the store opened at like 10 o'clock. And it'd be 9:30. He called me like, "Yo, I'm outside." And like I said, this was like 89, 90. Like, so he come pick me up. And
so nice,
like 9:30 in the morning. And I was like 13 years old, whatever. So he was like, he come pick me up. And he let me, he let me sweep up. He was like, "Hey, let's clean the rug up and all, so I'd go and sweep the store up, straighten the books up, stuff like that. And then he'd be like, hey, you want some pizza? Go get some Domino's for you. There's a Domino's right around the corner, and I go around and go get the
nice
he called the order in. Yeah, man. I was like,
nice
memories. And then, I'd stay there. The store would close at 9:00 that night. So I would be there from 10 in the morning with him, and I would stay there the whole day. Yeah. And then at 9:00 at night, and then he'd take me home. And then we'd go back the next day and we do it again. And he had, there were sometimes comic book pros. I didn't realize we had comic book pros that lived in the area. There was I can't remember that guy's name. He actually worked on Mr. Miracle back in like 90 or something, 91 or something for, and he came in to pick. He wanted to get his issue of Mr. Miracle. I didn't know. I guess DC didn't send him the comps or whatever. Yeah. And so he was like, hey, do you have this issue of Mr. Miracle? It just came. He was like, yeah, I got you. And he didn't realize that he was talking to. He was like, yeah, this is my art. I wanted to see it. I'm on the book. And so he was like, yo, will you sign? And he got him to sign some comics and stuff like that.
Nice.
It was
so
cool,
nice.
man. Like
nice.
So yeah, when he I dropped by the store, he was like, yo, dude, such and such from Mr. Miracle. He came by the store. I had him sign my comics, and it was cool. And I was like, oh man. And he had like they had original art. That was what made me like original art, is going to Collector's World, because he had some original art pages from like the early 80s and late 70s. They had a couple of pages. There was pages in there that they were selling for like $300 or $400. And he pulled them out. He was like, okay, hold on. There wasn't any customers in the store. He pulled them out. Because, they were, obviously behind the counter and stuff, because nobody could touch them. He pulled them. He had the little sleeve, laid on the table. And I could see it was actual production art. It was the real art.
In a kid's mind, like blow, like
yeah, completely. I was like, I could actually touch it and feel it, and you could see where they did the letters, and they actually
letters,
the letters on pages and stuff like that. And I was like, oh wow, so
man, so nice.
It's so cool, man. And most of the pages that I look back on them now, it wasn't like he had any Todd McFarlane or any of that kind of stuff. It's just so good to be able to touch the page and feel, it's like, oh, so you actually had to draw that on the paper. Everybody wasn't doing digital art then and everything. Everybody's doing it on tablets and stuff now, but it was so good. The paper had like it had started coloring a little, the yellowing had kind of kicked in. And, because some of the pages were like 10 years old and stuff. And I was like, man, that is cool. He had one page, I think it was from Legends of the Dark Knight. And I was like, and I always saw that book on the shelf. I was like, oh man. He said, yeah, this is from Legends of the Dark Knight. And he was wanting like $400 from it. It was a Batman. I was like, oh my God, Batman.
That's nice. That's nice.
And I was tripping. I was like, he had like 4 or 5 original art pages that they were selling to collectors. And I was like, you don't understand. Like I said, I was 13 years old. He let me
and I feel that kind of thing of store, to go to the store on a Saturday or on a Friday, I'm feeling that it'll be lost.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So when I found out the Collector's World, I drove by there and I found out they were closed. I was like, I'm an adult now. I'm not a kid. I was like, man, I spent so many summers here, and I go by there and there's like a China stop in there or something now. And I was like, yeah. It really broke my heart. I was like, I spent like 5 years of my childhood there. I was like, went through puberty.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to compete today. I was talking to another friend another day with video games, movies, streaming, so many entertainment that is hard. It's hard for comic book compete with that. We need to find, and I think some guys are finding maybe streaming. I will try to start next Monday streaming myself drawing to bring more audience, because today the young kids, they are all on YouTube. They don't see, they buy your
YouTube
not because they like the character, but because they like of you on YouTube.
And that's different. I will say that I've had a lot of people ask me, and they'll be like, so you doing YouTube stuff? And I go, yeah. I was like, dude, I can track. I look on my analytics from my Indiegogo page, and it's showing me like $15,000-$20,000 generated directly from YouTube.
Damn.
That's a substantial amount of money. So I'm sitting there going, and they go, They go, yeah, well, I've been kind of, I started a channel, but I don't really like making videos. So I was like, yeah, but you got a comic book that you try to sell, and now you ain't got, and what if you
it's
can't
different.
get on somebody's channel and stuff? You said build your own audience, and then you can. That was something Ethan told me when he first started letting me come on. He was like, yo, you can come on my channel, but he said you should always build your own platform, because he said my stuff should just enhance what you're already doing. You know what I'm saying? So, don't just depend on, because, you see stuff where people, their whole marketing plan was, I'm going to launch my campaign and I'm going to get on Ethan Van Sciver's channel, and then my book's going to be successful.
Oh, man. This is so wrong.
That's
so wrong. So wrong.
Yeah. So that's what I'm fortunate, like in August of last year, I only had 15 people subscribe to this channel. So, now I've got over 3,000.
You have 1 year of YouTube channel. 1 year.
Yeah, there you go. And I mean, but it took me.
But how many days of the week you upload a new video or a new interview?
I actually need to get. Well, I know I've got like 3 this week, because I've got more. And I did like 3 streams last week and stuff. I'm streaming a lot. I need to get back. Yeah, like 2 or 3 times a week. Yeah, because I mean, so many people are asking to come on. So many people, DM me, it's like, yo, man, will you look at my book? Yo, can I come on? And I'm like, yeah, if book looks okay, I'll let you come on. Then I've got my podcast, The Wrestling Council. We do that every week on Thursday. We kind of do a
you are building your audience.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's smart.
That's the new way. That's the new way.
So I mean, well, that's the thing. So when I see some people and they go, oh, well, I don't want to do this, and I was like, well, you gotta wondering why come your book's not selling? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you gotta do it.
Because I can tell you, I had when I went on, I went on, Ethan's channel the first time or whatever, or before I even got on there. Like I said, this is my 3rd campaign. I failed the first 2 times, and I had all of Kanan's art. Like the artwork was all Kanan. It was all professionally colored and everything. I had spent like $5,000 on putting all this promotional art together, and everybody was like, "Yeah, but we don't know who you are, so we're not buying it."
Yeah.
And and I was like, I'm spending all this money for ads. Why isn't anybody buying the book? I don't understand. And I was like, I know this is cool. Why, and nobody got it. And then, so it failed. And then I launched again. I went to Kickstarter. I launched again. Did a little better. Got up to $1,800. Still wasn't nowhere near where I needed to get into production. Yeah. And then, obviously then finally Ethan saw the project and he DM'd me and he said, hey, shut that down and, set up another Indiegogo. And he said, you can launch on my channel. And I, all of a sudden, once I was in front of that, once I talked to Ethan and, people in the audience and we just kind of relaxed and he had me come on, and within like 24 hours, it was like $4,000 was right there. Bam. And I was like, then it was 7,000 and then it got to 10, 15. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, what's happening?
Yeah. I think it's a combination. The project is good.
Yeah.
The Ethan platform is huge.
Yeah. And I mean, at that time, he only had like 60,000.
And Antonio, you are a nice person.
Yeah.
That's it.
You're fun to converse with.
Three things.
You're fun to converse with.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing I've tried to tell people, because it's like, yeah, we want to talk about, I don't know. I kind of feel like when I do these streams, a lot of people don't want to be sold to. If they're buying anything, they want to buy the person. They don't want to buy the book. So
that's the change. That's the change.
Yeah. So when I talk to John, I want John to talk about himself and talk about why he likes comics and why he created it, his property and all this kind of. Rod, when I talk to you, talk about your family and talk about why you got into the art game and all this, all this, and then, hey, by the way, we've got this book. Check it out. It's like, and all this, links in the description, check it out. And people like, they seem like good guys. Let's check the book. Oh, the book looks great. Okay.
And the book quality. Yeah.
There you go. And I find that tends to work a little better as opposed to, I've watched a couple of these streams where they're just pitching these books and they're like, all right, so we're here to sell a book. here's the book, boom, boom, and it's very formulaic. And I don't sleep on those streams. I like just talking. I'm like, yo, you went to the movie? Did you like the movie? You went to see Avengers? Did you like it? Ask me about, that kind of thing. And I found we've had I've got so many DMs and messages about streams. Like they were like, yo, man, y'all was just talking and I enjoyed it. And I ended up buying the guy's book. He seemed like a nice guy. So I tend to do, that's what I want to do. Cause I mean, obviously you're marketing a book, but let the people know who you are, let them know what you're about.
Your history, your background.
Yeah. And if I'm assuming if you're watching my streams that you are at least in some form or fashion a comic book fan, you're into it. So I'd like to think, because I'm a big comic book fan. That's why I love comics. But you'll hear me talk about comics. You'll hear me talk about like video games I like, movies, different stuff like that. So it's gonna be a mix of things.
Yeah, for me, I enjoy being on these streams. I mean, it's like I've supported both of your books. You know what I mean? It's like I'm a fan. I
need your support because like I said, we're shutting down. We only got 13 days left on brand. And that's one thing. I had some people go like, oh, they got the countdown timer on there, and I was like, yeah. So when you go on the brand page now, you see that countdown timer. You see, because I reached out to the on-demand team and I said, hey, we're shutting down on this date. Can you make sure they put? I said, put that little count, because I didn't know they could put the timer up there. What you say?
You have to request that.
Yeah, well, that's what I did, because at first they told me it was shutting down and I didn't see no timer on there. And I saw like Kyung Lee, when he shut down Battle and made Knuckle Bomb, they had a timer on his page. And I was like, how come I don't have a timer if it's shutting down? And so I emailed again and they go, yeah, let me put that. And then boom, next thing I know, they said it's up there now. And I looked and I said, oh, the countdown. And I don't know what it is. I'll tell you something. I noticed since the countdown timer went, the book's been selling more.
People have
because I felt that on Detective Dead and the Black Tiger on Kickstarter. I think people jump on the campaign in the beginning, like jump, boom, and then stay away a long time without put money, and then the end, because say 30 days, 60 days, I put the money later.
They get complacent and the time's not there.
And then the last week, everybody comes.
Yeah.
Well, see, and that's what I'm telling you. I started noticing when I looked at myself. I was like, man, more sales. Like they put that countdown timer up there, and all of a sudden the sales just keep going up. So the countdown timer is my friend. It is definitely there.
Bob, because I saw the countdown timer. I'm like, ooh, my time's running short. I better get it now.
It creates, and we've got there's a big ad. There's a big channel that's about to run a video for us, and I've advertised on his channel a few times, and he always gets great views, but he's got like 88,000 subscribers, and he's about to run an ad for me. And when he puts it out there, and he's gonna let everybody know, hey, you can read the first 21 pages of brand for free, and blah 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 blah. And next thing you know, and then he's gonna go in. I'm trying to remember. It's he's doing it because he does like I don't know if you ever see Cinnamon Sins and stuff like that, where he's like sending the video and making fun of different mistakes that he finds in the video. He does a channel like that where he's like criticizing movies and stuff and talk about little things like that. But I mean, he's got great audience. His videos get 50,000-60,000 views, and it's the right audience, the right demos. So yeah, I should hopefully tonight. I know he contacted me last night. He's like, yeah, we're almost ready to go. So yeah, when he launches, I'm like, yes, because I look at his videos. When I look at all the views he gets consistent views, and I mean, it's like
I think that's the key, man. Today, or you need to have social media behind you. The best one, YouTube, because I see the youngers, they stay on YouTube all day on YouTube. Then I think maybe
they look,
and then Instagram.
So, I mean, like I said, it's. I mean, but this is you have to kind of figure out a different way if you're going to market these or if you're just like, yeah, I tweet out some, I'm not really good at going on these streams and stuff like that. You can tell, and I can tell some people that are a little bit more shy and they don't seem to have that hustle about them. They don't do as well when they try to market these books. I'm just being honest about it.
Yeah, totally.
They just don't. I was like, I really think if you gotta, and I was real nervous when I first started coming on these streams. And I really feel like if you're going to market, if you're trying to get people to invest in you, and they don't know who you are, man, you've got to at least let them go, hey, Antonio's seems like a nice guy. Let me support his project.
Right.
Yeah. I totally believe that. I totally believe in that.
That's what it is. Well, guys, man, this has been fantastic. We had another great conversation.
Yeah. Both stay here all night.
Yeah, so we got to do this again anytime. Like you obviously, whenever y'all do your next projects, obviously you are more than welcome. Just hit me up. You guys are always welcome to come here to the channel.
Thanks a lot, man.
Chop it up with you, and I'm looking forward to all the different guests. I just always like seeing. I almost feel like this is Comic Book Wednesday some days. It's like since I used to pick I always thought about doing a stream where I could just showcase different comics and stuff. It was like as opposed to going to the store and all the new comics.
You should do it.
Like, hey, look at all the great stuff on Indiegogo right now. Let's check this out. I want to do something like that. Do
it, man. Do it. Show the indie comic books. Indie, I have so good productions in indie. I now I'm get older, so I don't look more to Marvel and DC. It's not something that interests me. But Dark Horse, Image Comics, European albums, manga, Akira, and the others. I'm looking for different ideas in stories, art, and indie. You should do, man. You should do. Just showcase the indie books.
Well, like I said, this awesome. Black Tiger looks great. Definitely, it really does. I mean, I'm like I said, very happy that your first backer came from this channel.
Yes,
that was awesome.
High five.
As more people will watch this stream, like I said, you got a $7 digital download on the 150.
Yeah, to anyone can go jump in.
All the great art, the great colors, and everything. So, like I said, book looks really, really good. All your books look good. I encourage you all not only to back Black Tiger, A Legacy of Fury, but go to BeyondTimeComics.com and check out some of John's other projects. They've got great looking books on there, and they're cheap. You can get them for like $3 or whatever. So they're not very expensive. Throw a couple of shekels in this brother's pocket, help him out. Get him out there. And obviously Rod, Super Luper.
Come on.
Looking forward, because I'm definitely going to check out. Black Tiger. I think that looks dope. And I'm looking forward to receiving Detective Dead once you complete drawing that.
January or February. Finish.
Yeah. I'm going to be. Man, because like I said, I backed the hardcover Kane White version. It's like so. It's going to be with the Kane White.
It'd be nice.
When
come look at your version. I got the soft cover.
Yeah, I guess.
Nice.
So I'm getting it, man. So like I said, shout out to you, shout out to my homie Antonio Malpica Critius. Really love that brother. He's nice good people.
Really nice guy.
We sign off here. John, let the people know, like I said, how they can reach out to you, man, before they if they want to.
Your boy Beyond Time Inc. on Twitter. Get at me. Beyond Time Comics on Facebook. Hey, holler.
There you go.
That's me, John from Beyond.
Yeah, that's it. And the great Rod, Super Luper. How can they?
Super Luper is everywhere. Instagram, you can find me at Rod.Luper. Twitter, Rod_Luper. YouTube now, 2D Art channel. And
it's not Rod Luper? It should be Super Luper, man. You should have to change.
Damn.
For the Brazilian James Brown.
Yeah.
It is Super Luper. There's set that channel up, says Super Luper. And then
doing his move.
Super Luper about to do some drawing for y'all, man.
Yeah.
Because people love watching you great artists as y'all concoct these pages. I always like looking at the way you lay these pages out, man. Real interesting perspective. Yeah, but man, this has been fantastic. I really appreciate both of you guys coming by. Please, back Black Tiger, Legacy of Fury. It's I'm very proud to have launched that campaign here on this channel.
Thanks a lot, bro.
Obviously, I will continue to help promote it and push that thing out. I think the book looks great, and like I said, 158 pages that you can see. There, it's not 158 pages, and maybe 8 months from now you're gonna get it. It's most of it's already
ready,
done.
ready to go.
That's what I'm saying. It's ready to go. So
ready to go.
So back with confidence, as they say, as opposed to well, maybe the book will come out, maybe it won't come out. I'm like, the book's ready. It's like, so go ahead. Like I said, just if you have your doubt, just get the little digital, get that 7, throw them 7 and read that 158 pages, man. That's gonna be beautiful.
It'd be amazing.
I'm definitely wanting I think I'll get that little soft cover there. That soft cover looks good. I want to get that 25 all day out the door and get it. But
nice.
But yeah, man, like I said, I appreciate you guys. But we're gonna get out of here. As always, if you want to reach out to me, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and right here on this YouTube channel. Everywhere is at Akari Press. And if you type in akaripress.com, it will take you directly to my Indiegogo campaign for my comic book series brand with the phenomenal Kanan White. We're on Teespring, we're on Amazon.com. The links to those are in the description. Black Tiger, Legacy of Fury.
See ya.